Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jackie, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we are talking about the 2003 comedy Daddy Daycare. And we have Jim and Kai from Rotten Treasure joining us this week. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So excited to see what we're about to get into.
It's an experience. And honestly, Jim, what did you text me?
I don't know. And what's the context?
I think about the movie. We talked about it like right beforehand. I think you just wrote, I really liked it.
No. Okay. The exact words was, I didn't hate that.
Sorry. Very different.
That is a fantastic tagline for this movie.
I want to specify, I didn't hate it, is what I said.
If you want to get to know Jim and Kai a little better, pause and go check out their trailer that dropped a little earlier this week, and then come back. Before we dive into the episode, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and want to support us, here are a few ways you can.
Did you know writing a review and or rating us helps us get more listeners? If you want to be featured and help us grow, head to Apple, Spotify, Podchasers, iHeartRadio, Good Pods, or your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review.
And if you like what you hear and want to buy us a virtual cup of coffee, head over to ko-fi.com/no-more-late-fees.
Plus, you can rock our merch if you go to our Redbubble store at nomorelatefees.redbubble.com. We have shower curtains, we have pet bowls, handkerchiefs, all the necessities of life. Jackie, why don't you tell us about this movie?
While his wife Kim brings home the bacon, unemployed Charlie spends his days caring for the couple's young son. With the help from a friend, Phil, Charlie decides to start a daycare center. Enrollment quickly surges, and as they add another employee, the goofy Marvin, Charlie finds himself dealing with endless red tape. Will he be able to keep the business afloat, or will parents defect to Miss Harridan's daycare center? It stars Eddie Murphy, Jeff Garlin, Zahn, Regina King, and Anjelica Huston. It was directed by Steve Carr and written by Jeff Rodkey, and you can currently watch it on HBO Max. But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So, you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we will reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
The best would play on repeat,
5-day rental,
would watch again,
2-day rental,
okay, but nothing to write home about,
and same-day rental.
Trash, straight up trash.
All right, so Kai, we'll start with you.
Oh, yeah.
What is your Y2K rating of Daddy Daycare?
Y2K, me, 13 years old. I was definitely like a 5-day rental person. I would watch it again. Yeah, I would say I was that person. I'd honestly probably not return it, but yes, also intend to get it for a 5-day rental, then find out I still own it way later.
Yeah, I would slip the disc into like a CD case that I had by accident, and then I returned just the case.
Oh, you guys were our favorite people for sure.
Oh no, yeah, I don't know worse.
I did that one time by accident with Spy Kids 2. At the time, I would have. Is this Y2K or is this 2003 me?
It's 2003, the same thing.
Okay, cool. Because I was 11. I would have been 11 at that point, and I would have like just seen Lord of the Rings, so I would have been a little snobby when it came to movies.
Because you saw real cinema.
Because I saw an actual movie, and I definitely would have at that time given this a same-day rental.
Same day. Gotcha.
It doesn't help that I also have a little brother and sister, and they watch this on repeat on a portable DVD player in the back of my parents' car.
What kind of car?
Drama.
Oh, it was a.
Yeah, I wanted to relive it.
I remember it was a minivan, and I remember the color was cappuccino, which means it was kind of off-white.
Jackie, what is your rating?
I remember shelving this movie a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I think I watched it once, so I'm going same day rental.
Yeah, it's fair.
Oh,
Danielle,
I watched it. I want to say 2-day rental because I don't have the feeling like, oh God, this was awful. But I know I didn't watch it again. So 2-day rental for me.
fair.
So let's get into the box office. So this movie had a $60 million budget. Where did that? Maybe they were paying the kids. Maybe that's what it was. Or maybe production just took a lot longer because you had children on set all day and you can't keep them. I don't know.
Oh, maybe they really broke all that stuff and they had to keep buying stuff.
You know what? I would have to say probably a good majority of the money went to Eddie Murphy because at that time, like, he was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Pluto Nash would have come out.
The
fact that we have
classic Pluto Nash.
The fact that we have to do that movie hurts my soul. Worldwide box office for this movie, though, was $164.4 million. And I think that's also why Eddie Murphy was getting paid as much as he was, because besides Pluto Nash and maybe, was it Bonefinger? What was that?
Bowfinger? Yeah, I watched that movie way too many times too.
That was against all the not so great reviews that I got from critics. Todd McCarthy from Variety called it scarcely more amusing than spending 90 minutes in a pre-K classroom and comically undernourished junk food snack.
That's really accurate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick burn, bruh. Sick burn.
I've been in a pre-K classroom. That's fair.
Yeah.
Surprisingly though, like, as big as much money as this movie made, I did not find a lot of fun facts about it, which was a little annoying.
I think it just should say this movie exists. Facts. That's it.
All the fun facts were in the credits. Yeah.
All right, Jackie, let's get started.
Okay. We're walking on sunshine. We're waking up for the day.
No,
we're peeing and brushing our teeth. I will say the child acting in this was really good.
Yeah. Oh, he broke my heart many a times. Yeah.
I believe they were children.
Oh. Same. I don't mean to like jump right to the end, but you did stay for the the end credits, right? Like the outtakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We don't need to get into that, but of course, that kid, I was just like sold. Yep.
Oh,
100% should be the star of this movie.
Me. Yeah.
You're killing me. Yeah.
He was so cute, and I was really surprised because I didn't realize SpongeBob SquarePants was even out back then. But he had those slippers.
100%.
Old.
He's got to be celebrating his 25th, 30th anniversary probably coming up soon, I bet.
It's going to be like its 25th coming soon because it was like 1999, 1998.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. I watched it the day it premiered.
Really?
Yeah. I was, okay, you got to remember I was 6 when it came out. So target audience.
So we see Charlie, played by Eddie Murphy. He's a businessman. He's got a pager, he's got a two-way, and he's got a cell phone. He's got all the things to keep in communication. He has a big presentation. He's getting ready for that. His son is wiping his nose on his note cards.
His son is doing a lot of extra stuff with like, and you have to imagine this isn't the first time that his son has probably done this. So I blame the dad for not putting his stuff in places that maybe his son won't get to. It was the father's fault for leaving all his shit everywhere. Like he should know that his son's probably going to do this weird shit and hide
a lot of important stuff around.
Yeah.
You can't blame a child for literally anything.
No.
My nephew regularly just goes up to people, sneezes in their mouth, and then runs away. Like, if you see a child, you have to expect that's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fair. It's only fair.
I think I would die if a child sneezed in my mouth. I'm too much of a germaphobe to be a mother, I think.
The best thing that ever came out of COVID was I had to wear a mask as a teacher because then there was like a shield between me and kid germs.
We should have just got the whole shield.
The face mask.
Yeah. That probably would have helped, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
I remember I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say, I just remember like the first time that I ever like actually was like handed my nephew, and I was just like, he was at the stage where he was just really snotty, and it was just like at a hospital where both my parents were there for different reasons. My sister was like, "Here, take him," and I was just like, "Hi, Jacob. I don't know you very well. I haven't seen you in a while. You're very gross." And my dad's like very dilated and being just pat him on the back when he was like crying and just like coaching me through how to handle being around a small being. Like, I've had daddy daycare anxiety. I don't know what to do. I'm not a dad. But very much so, just like, okay, all right, this is a responsibility now. This is a life that's around me.
Charlie has, like I said, a big presentation.
He does marketing for a health division at a food company, essentially.
Thank you.
It looks like they make cereals and treats and whatnot, snacks. So yeah.
And his wife, played by Regina King, warns him that he can't be late. They have a preschool orientation at like this hoity-toity preschool run by Anjelica Huston. She's a witch. Who's going to her preschool?
She still to this day scares the shit out of me. Like, I think the only time that I could look at her separately than from the Witches movie is when I see her in Addams Family. But other than that, she is always that woman.
That's what I know her from. Okay, it's that and this, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I remember her just from the 70s.
Yeah. The youngest one of us. Yeah.
So we get a glimpse of Charlie's office, and we see who they refer to as the guy who smells the mail, played by Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn had a wonderful like run in the 90s, 2000s era. Like, you don't realize how many things he's in. Even Kai and I actually were talking about this before we did the movie. And it's amazing. Like, I forget how many movies he's in.
He was in, let's see, Reality Bites, That Thing You Do, Saving Silverman. He was in this.
He was in.
What more can you say?
A favorite of ours, Joyride.
Yeah.
Okay, Joyride was a movie that I actually enjoyed watching also on repeat. So
favorite of ours. That was a joke.
That was sarcasm, Danielle.
Okay, thank you. Because I was like,
I don't know why. I've watched a lot of garbage movies on repeat.
He was in a movie with Jennifer Aniston.
Hamlet 2000.
No, Object in my affection.
I actually own Hamlet 2000. Don't ask me why.
That's crazy because I just said that because I thought it was funny name for a movie.
He also played Phoebe's husband on Friends.
Oh wow.
The ice skating dancer.
Oh.
He was also Employee of the Month.
Yes.
And then most recently he would have been in White Lotus.
Yes. Season 1.
He's back, baby.
Yeah. He's a guy that just shows up and I'm like, hey, there he is.
Yeah. There you are.
He doesn't get enough, I think, props for just his comedic timing. He's a really funny actor, I think. But he could also, it seems like he could do pretty well with drama as well. Mm-hmm. So
he was really good in White Lotus. I really enjoyed his performance.
I got to see it because I absolutely think he's got legs. He's got him. I can see it. He can do it.
I've seen the movie quite a bit.
No, it's just like I've seen him just like switch it on and off, and I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. I've seen Joyride. We're talking like Oscar-worthy stuff here, guys.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I've seen That Thing You Do, which is an actually good movie.
It's fair.
I don't know why I said that sarcastically. I actually really like that movie.
Me too.
So we see there's a focus group of children trying out the new Veggie-O cereal, and there's like this whole carrot broccoli wrap that happens. And then it seems like the kids don't mind the cereal until they find out that there's veggies in it, and then there's a fucking riot.
I don't know if it's just that they
Disagree.
know that there's veggies. I think as soon like they freak out as soon as they put it in their mouths. Like
Yeah.
I think it tastes bad. It tastes bad.
One of them throws up right away.
The kid who threw the bowl at the like two-sided window mirror thing was like gangster for real. I was like, that's a lot. That was excessive.
You know how in the trailer we named our favorite child actors? I'm actually going to replace. I'm going to replace Raven Simone with that kid.
I thought you were going to go with like replacing just one of the Olsen twins with.
Yeah,
that's also
no.
Don't split them up. They've had a hard life. They need each other.
They are inseparable. In fact, if I had a top 6, Elizabeth Olsen would also be on the list.
Oh wow,
fair. Very fair.
I gotcha.
My favorite line in this scene is they're turning on us, and it's just like these kids going ham.
Yeah,
call security. Like, is it really that bad? But I guess it was. Yes.
So you could take those kids.
I babysat like when I was like 13, and like this kid, like, do you know those? He just had like one of those like Hot Wheels ramps, like kind of mountain things. They would just like fling them up and then go as hard as they like fast as they could.
Mm-hmm.
Sing at me. I got hit in the head with those things all the time. Like I was very much so into like, I don't know how to control these kids. Elijah's absolutely just gonna try to kill me, I think.
That just happened to me. My nephew is the same thing. He just got one of those ramps, and he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna. He just started throwing cars at me. He wasn't even putting it on the ramp anymore.
It's not worth $40.
Great babysitter. I never had any problems with these kids trying to fuck with me because I had a surefire plan. 1, pizza.
Good.
Super happy about that.
Good call.
2, 3 Ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
all of them, all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
You want to watch 3 Ninjas?
Oh, I love those movies.
Yes.
Oh, Tum Rocky, yeah. Why am I completely cult? I mean, like, yeah.
And then I would get pillows, and I'm like, you want to test out some moves on the pillows? And they would go ham on that, get real tired, get them in bed. And I'm like, if you go to bed, the next time we will watch part 2. Ooh. Or Power Rangers. They would go to bed. I would have enough time to eat all the rest of the food in the house and get paid and be dropped off at home. No problems. I was top class. And I would always get kids that were misbehaving. Like at camp, I would be their counselor, and the parents would be like, what's your secret? And I'm like, I have a 3-pronged plan. And that was
this is like a master class. You need to get this going. Why are you giving those away for free?
I love the idea of someone paying $55 for the master class, and then you're just like, give them pizza, watch 3 Ninjas, and let them tackle a pillow.
And if
no further questions.
If it's girls, I would do the same thing. Or, if they really wanted something a little bit girly, it was My Little Pony, the Barbie movies.
No easy bake oven to potentially hurt yourself with and burn something down.
No, because I'm upset. The moment I realized that was a light bulb, bitch wasn't having it.
Are you a fan of nostalgia? Have you ever rewatched a film from your childhood and thought, what the hell was I thinking liking this so much? Or have you ever rewatched a film and thought, wow, I forgot how amazing this movie was?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, then we have a podcast for you.
My name is Steph.
And I'm Lex.
And we are Chasing Childhood, a weekly podcast where 2 20-something-year-old cousins review our and your childhood favorites.
From The Wizard of Oz to Shrek and everything in between, we're out to see if that movie you loved as a kid still holds up now that we're adults.
We release new episodes every Wednesday, and you can find us on all podcast streaming platforms.
Give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at Chasing Childhood Podcast, and on Facebook at Chasing Childhood.
Join us and let's chase our childhoods together.
All right, Jackie, I'm sorry we got so off.
You're good.
No, we're totally on track.
So because of the chaos. Charlie is late to the preschool orientation. This is where we see Anjelica Huston as the headmaster, and it's like Montessori on steroids. And
Lacey Chabert.
Yeah, Lacey Chabert plays Jennifer,
Wiener
the
herself.
assistant. Yeah, exactly.
A pre-Gretchen Wiener.
Yeah.
She was Eliza Thornberry at that point. I know a lot about Lacey Chabert.
She is also the singing voice for Anastasia, the young version in the animation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. She's great. I love her. Anyway, sorry, Jackie. We haven't even gotten to the daddy daycare yet, by the way.
We knew it was going to happen. We were prepared.
Yeah.
So I think the wife's name is Kim.
Yeah.
Kim really wants their son, Ben, to go to this prestigious preschool where they're learning SAT prep. It's very pricey, but she is going back to work. She had just become a lawyer when she got pregnant. And so they can afford it. And then
the way that they were doing their budget. I was like, she a lawyer. It feels like
where's their money been? They have $70-something or like 70-something cents in their checking, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
what was that?
What's the struggle here? Like, is she pro bono? Like, what's she doing?
Was she like a public defender?
Yeah.
Because they were living, I think it was because the preschool was so expensive. Like they could have afforded everything if they didn't have the preschool fees. Because she did say this is per year, right? And they're like, no, it's per month.
I do have to say that the way that I watch this movie now versus when I was younger is so different because I worked for a daycare. We didn't call it daycare. I wish. I fucking wish. No, a childcare company. And so as they were going through this whole process, I was like, that is not the form you need. And where are the certificates? Like, I was just watching it in a different perspective. But
you mean, how did they get certified in 24 hours?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, there's just like, there's so many things that I'm glad that they had the certifications. They even mentioned it, but the way they were like, yeah, we could just do it was crazy to me. Because that doesn't happen.
So we see Charlie is fired. They dissolve his division. He finds out the next day. And so he's no longer employed. It's 6 weeks later. They're doing the finances like we mentioned. And it's decided like we're going to have to pull Ben out of that expensive ass school. And so they are shopping around for another daycare and everything is very subpar. There's like a lady with a smoker's cough with a baby on her hip in a trailer.
Love that character.
Yeah, do not look. If anyone has emphysema, I don't want you looking at my children.
There's another couple that keep the children in the storm cellar, it appears.
Yeah, we keep the children down here.
To be fair, they do not go into the basement. We don't know. Yeah. They could have just been murdering people.
It's true.
Right.
They didn't show them, but I imagine they just all looked up at the same time at the light. It's just like all herded together, and that's it. And then they're just like, all right, nope, bye-bye.
This movie had a lot of looking into a room, not showing us what's in the room, and then Eddie Murphy running away.
Right, the $60 million budget could not be, spent. No. But I think these scenes are very accurate in the sense that it's even more like we're talking about 2003 then, like now it's even more competitive and extremely difficult to get your child into a really good school.
Yep.
When I worked at the childcare company that I will not name, once you knew you were pregnant, like our infant rooms were packed. Like the waiting list was 2 to 3 years sometimes. Like it was crazy.
It's at the point now where it's like if you're pregnant with your kid, it's already too late.
Yeah no joke, you're absolutely correct. And it is extremely expensive. I would say if you're gonna do like a newborn or a toddler and they're not potty trained, you're looking at about $30,000 to $40,000 a year at least.
It's a mortgage
every
month.
That's crazy. So like you need to potty train your child. And if you can get them as close to like maybe pre-K age, and you want to socialize them or whatever, then that's the best bet. If you can hold off for that long, because when they're babies, like fresh out the vag, shit is expensive.
Write that down, everyone.
Fresh out the vag. We have another t-shirt design.
Yes. Oh, I see it. Can you do it in handwriting? I feel like it needs to be handwritten.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a picture of a child like on its way out.
I just want to see the legs, right?
You're talking to a designer. I'm making this after the episode.
I just want to see the legs, and then the design kind of like pops out and says "fresh out the vag."
In like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air graffiti writing.
Wow.
That's what I was gonna say. All that because of fresh at the vag. Stop.
And then at the bottom say like established 2023 or something. Perfect.
I love it.
You got this, Kai?
Yeah, I got you. I'm writing it all down.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kai. I'm not seeing your hand moving. Are you actually writing it down right now?
Sorry, my improv's gotten really bad. I don't remember how to do online improv anymore.
Okay,
I stopped doing it because it's painful.
Now you're driving a forklift.
And then we see, because Charlie is home, he gets the minivan. Kim's taken the Mercedes convertible. And now we are at the park with Phil, his coworker that was also laid off. They have kids around the same age.
Hi.
And Siobhan Fallon Hogan, who is in everything. She's Edgar Sugarwater. And she's talking about how she can't find someone to watch the kids. And eventually the conversation comes around to like, yeah, I trust my kid with you guys. And so that's when Charlie gets the bright idea. We're going to open up our own daycare.
Real quick, Kai, do you recognize the park from this movie?
Ooh.
I should.
You should.
Is this in Philadelphia?
Because it is the park from Wes Craven's New Nightmare, the seventh Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
the movie we watched a year ago.
Yeah. And it also uses the same thing in Stranger Things season 4. I noticed in the background, it's like the big rocket ship.
Hold on, Jim. Let me just write that down.
And Jackie, the Mercedes is a 2000 Mercedes-Benz CLK A208.
Is that on the IMDb's facts? Because that's
Jackie. Jackie always gives out a shout out of the car because of our lovely Ken. So, and the minivan was a 2001 Chevrolet Venture. I don't care, but I have to say it or we get in trouble. So
yeah.
From the car companies.
Yes.
From Jackie's husband.
Did he ask to paint that? Did he just go for it? Like, I feel like you talked to your partner before just painting the car.
Right.
Just wild colors.
The thing that felt the most unrealistic for me is a Black woman coming home to that messy ass house and not losing her shit.
Yeah.
To be fair, all the women in this movie to just be like, oh, no. All right, you said twice, so I guess I'll cave. Right. Yeah, it's not great.
Oh yeah, the women don't have the characters in this movie.
Oh
no.
And to be fair, Kim does come home and go, what the? And then she goes into the room and she's like, okay.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. So Kim comes home that night. This is where we get my favorite scene of the movie, where Charlie's putting together a play structure in the backyard and his son is berating him about breaking his yo-yo. Like, man, the acting chops on this kid. He's really going in at Eddie Murphy about this fucking yo-yo.
Did you notice his back was to the camera so that they get ADR the lines in? Because I'm sure what he was saying was complete nonsense.
No, you know that right beforehand, that was just based on what really happened. He's like, I think I'm gonna the method act. I'm gonna go break this kid's yo-yo. Because that's 100% authentic interaction right there.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite interactions, to be honest, because I love the way that he was talking to the kids then.
Like, you broke my yo-yo. No, I did. Yes, you did.
Yes, you
Don't
did.
you
No,
worry.
it came like that.
So we do see an interior shot of the house as Kim walks in, and it's just wall to wall Toys R Us bags. Like he has bought Toys R Us out. And that's when Kim's like, what the fuck? But then immediately is like, okay, watch children during the day in my home while I'm at work.
Yeah, just register our residential home as a business, whatever.
Yeah.
The zoning laws won't be all over us.
Or the
It's fine.
taxes,
Yeah.
or like there was no business plan. I mean, he's in marketing. I feel like he should have
They had
known.
a mission statement.
Yeah.
Right. That they read to the kids the first day. I was like, this is crazy.
And he asked at least 3 times that if it was okay, and I'm pretty sure she at least like moved. So he said, okay, I'll do it.
I kind of feel like if this movie had been made maybe more recently, the whole just idea that the fathers would do this wouldn't be so like not normal or out of the norm.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, the kind of the way the wives scoff at, like, you don't know how to raise your kid, you barely do it.
That's the next scene where they're trying to sign kids up for daddy daycare, and all the moms are like, fuck no. And then
I'm sorry, ladies take care of children, not the men.
I will say this though, from experience, it is very difficult when you have like parents coming to tour. Like if we had a male owner, there always had to like be a female. It's just parents as a whole do not trust male caretakers.
Yeah, 100%.
For that child, for that age range. And it you know, obviously it makes sense because we have evidence to back up why some people would be alarmed.
I was gonna say, just look at the numbers and be considerate of your choices. Yes. There's a good general rule out of all of this.
So I was like, at first I was like, nobody's turning a side eye. So I was really glad that they kind of mentioned that. But I was also like, oh, so we're just ignoring this now.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Because Siobhan's character Peggy vouches for them, but then also like threatens them, like, you fuck this up, I'm gonna fuck you up.
I love that. I do love it when that happened. Yeah.
I do also like the devil may care attitude that a lot of these moms have with their children, where they're just like, all right, I'll let these two guys that I don't trust at all watch them for a day. We'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen to my children?
We're seeing a theme. Yeah, just mention it twice. It's a good idea. It's just like, no but, yes and, all right. Here we are. New scene.
So now we see kids being signed up. We see the maltodextrous girl. She is precious.
She's great. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I love that she would just be like, I'm reading. I don't care about any of this chaos. I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that she only had like 3 lines in the movie.
She
was like, this girl should be like the spokesperson for all these children.
Give her a Matilda movie. That's what they should have done. They give this kid a freaking movie. They're great.
Yeah.
And I love that this is one of Elle Fanning's, I think I Am Sam might have been her first, because she played her sister Dakota in the younger version. But I feel like this is one of her first movies.
Yep. So we get teeny tiny baby Elle Fanning, and I was sitting there trying to like count the kids. And so I think they have 9 or 10 to start. Ben wasn't with the group at first, so I think it's 10 total. This is when we get the mission statement. And everyone wants a rocket ship, which is something Charlie does with Ben. Ben hates it, but everyone else enjoys it.
I'd have to try it. I don't know where I'd stand, really.
Oh, please. A big, strong man lifting you up into the air. You would be so into that.
Jim, you do know me. You know me so well.
That would make you feel so safe.
Stranger, yeah, let's try it next Friday night. Then that happens. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Please record that and send it to us.
Yes.
Not a stranger, Eddie Murphy.
You better lift me next time I see you.
I'm not that strong. I fell down the stairs.
So now Eddie Murphy's tired of doing rocket ship and is thinking this is a huge mistake, but Phil goes and gets his guitar. So now we're just having sing-alongs, which I mean, fine.
I love when he plays Hava Nagila for the children.
Yeah, that was.
And he gets them all to do the dance, which means he had to teach them how to do that dance.
I think that was improvised. That had to be. I bet he did improvise a lot of the songs he actually decided to do for that movie.
Well, I mean, he's a good improviser. He is on Curb Your
Curb Your
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now it's time for lunch, and they just give them like junk food, which immediately backfires because the kids all have sugar rushes, but then the sweet spot, which is the sugar crash, and everyone is passed out when parents pick up their kids. So it seems like a successful day from an outsider looking in.
I do want to say that, like, Charlie, the way that he goes into this endeavor, he looks at childcare and taking care of children as less than. And when later throughout the course of this movie, almost to the end, we do see some growth, but he really looks at it as like he could do better. And you could see that he very much liked the power and what was considered manly, I guess, about having his job. He talked about people being under him later on, and he talked about his office. It didn't, but it's very true. And even to this day, like, so many people define, that there are female roles and male roles, and that to take care of a child or a home would be less than. And so just like to kind of hear him say it out loud was just like, but I am glad that, like, as he progressed, he saw the value of it. And also kind of like a backlash to who wants to, you're not living going into this office all day, which I think right now in this time period, we're all feeling that collectively since, COVID kind of kicked that off. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, his little office revelation at the end. I love it. They threw the conflict and the only the growth with like the last 10 to 15 minutes left of the entire movie.
We forgot the plot.
No, but I'm right there with you where I'm at least like, this movie wasn't meant for us. I don't like, this movie existed for people to be like, I guess you should not be an asshole. Yes. But it also existed for teenagers like, me to be like, I like when people fall down.
This is ironically a movie you put on so you don't have to watch your children.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're like, is my dad supposed to be bad at watching me?
No, because you're being watched by Jeff Garlin.
So we see Crispin's mom shows up.
Crispin's mom.
Crispin is full of rage, but his mom shows up. She's had a full like derma peel.
Yeah,
and
she was scary.
He gets really angry, and she just keeps saying, "Quiet the face. No wrinkles, Crispin. Quiet the face."
She's teaching him early,
and then he doesn't quiet his face because he smiles, and that would create wrinkles on your face. Crispin, you're going to have crow's feet when you're 25.
Oh, great. Now you're going to make Crispin stop listening to the podcast. Good job, Jen.
I'm sorry.
She should have been teaching him to put on sunscreen. That is the best skincare you could do.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to look up how old Crispin is now. Oh, he's 26. He doesn't need to listen to me. He was in Wild Hogs.
Ooh. He's doing fine.
And so now the next day we have two new kids, and Charlie says, we just need structure and planned activities, to which Phil responds, no, we need Ritalin and leashes.
Yeah, that was rough. Didn't like that.
Yeah, I was a leash kid for like 15 minutes.
Oh, did you figure out how to get out?
Yeah, because my mom half-assed it, and she just got the one that was like on my wrist, and I was just like, it's Velcro, mommy, and took it off. My mom thought I was pretty stupid as a child, and guess what? I'm a little bit smarter.
Let it be known.
And so you see, like, Charlie and Phil are doing it, not super great, but I mean, they're handling it. Everyone's alive. But Ben is feeling really left out and neglected. He's just kind of like sitting on the stairs. And every time Charlie goes to like engage with him, something else happens and he has to step away. And then we see Phil can't deal with diaper changes, which fucking hate. I hate so much when dads are like, I don't do diapers. Like, you do diapers. You had a child. You change a diaper. Like
you get used to it.
Yeah.
I changed diapers a bunch when I was a little kid because my little brother and sisters are 8 and 9 years younger than me, so it's a perfect age to be able to do that. Yeah. And like the first time you do it, you're like, ew, poopy, and then like the 4th or 5th time, you're like, hey, you got a lot of poop on you. Like, and it's like really easy after a little while. It's there's a gross factor for like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Look, if it's runny, you run the bath and just rinse them off because it's not even worth it after that point.
That's the only logical thing in the movie. Why didn't they? I was just like, go go take a shower.
Yeah, they did that.
I'll deal with the shower, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. So Charlie has to go help Phil's son with the bathroom. And so he gets him into the bathroom. He's like, you got this, buddy. And then the kid comes out and just says, I missed.
I love that. That line stuck with me. That was the one that I was like, oh yeah, I missed.
That's what that was in the trailer.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Oh yeah.
It was like
that was the line of the trailer.
Missed what? Like, what did you miss exactly?
And this is when we get one of those shots Jim was mentioning earlier, where it's just Eddie Murphy looking into a doorway and acting shocked and disgusted.
Yeah. It's the scene Dumb and Dumber still, where Bob Saget loses his mind. It's literally just that again, where it's just like, there's shit everywhere. Like, it's just, you just have to imagine it. Because actually, no, I don't think they even showed it in that scene either. It's more horrifying. It's like the Psycho situation, but with poop.
And
less is more.
If you ever watch the show Parenthood, this kid grows up to play Max Braverman. So
Max again, holding that name. Wow,
yes.
get it.
Well, because it's his real name, and they were like,
is it really?
This kid's not gonna remember a different name.
He's shitting himself in movies all over the place.
I specifically looked up this kid because I thought it was the kid from Zathura, and no, he's from Parenthood. He acted beside Lorelai Gilmore herself.
He did.
Legal name.
And Mae Whitman.
Yes.
Ooh.
And Dax Shepard, a guy from this era of movies that I really love.
Yes. Also from Zathura.
Oh yeah, no.
Zathura.
We watched and we talked it. I love Dax Shepard and I love that movie.
Yeah. Without a paddle. Sorry.
And also Kid in Airport on the OC.
Ooh. Wow. His most famous credit to date.
Oh my God, he played Max again in Friends with Money.
Yeah, good job.
And Love for Rent, he played Max.
It's in his contract. It's got to be in his contract.
He's a stupid kid.
I wonder.
He's got a relative in the industry. They're like, just the thing is.
But I'm wondering now, because in Parenthood, his character, the trivia literally on IMDb for him has played a character named Max 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah. And we just named all 5 of them.
We did it.
We did it, guys.
Where's our money?
Look at the banner that we got ready for this occasion.
Look at us.
You just pulled it from Ice Cube's face.
Mission accomplished.
So now we get a scene at the very expensive preschool, and they have 6 absences. So obviously parents are pulling their kids out of this super expensive school and putting them in daycare. And Anjelica Huston is none too pleased. So she calls and files a complaint with the Child Protection Services, like you do. And prior to CPS showing up, we get the scene behind me where they dress up as a carrot and a broccoli. I guess they were allowed to keep the costumes.
I think they straight up sold this shit.
I literally thought it was part of the severance. I was like, I really hope they put that in there.
I think there's a simpler answer, and I think that they were underpaid and that they had to pay for that out of their own pockets.
That makes more sense than stealing them and being adamant that they get to keep them.
This is my severance carrots. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your collective.
So after they fight as a broccoli and a carrot, CPS shows up and he kind of goes through the list of deficiencies, is what he refers to them as. Like there's no nap area, there's no like baby gates, things of that nature.
There are knives just hanging out. I don't know if any of you saw this in the background. They show a shot of the kitchen where there is a ton of just kitchen knives on the counter where kids could very easily grab those.
One of the kids was playing with the scissors, pushing it out of the bottom of the couch as Jeff Garlin is trying to get it back.
Yeah. Wow. That's a fun game, though. That's a fun game.
It was very Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
At times. At Daddy.
Oh, you saw the murdered kid in the background? Yeah, I was like, wasn't sure if anyone else saw that.
Well, Todd doesn't go to.
Yeah.
Todd doesn't go to Daddy daycare anymore.
That's a different kid. That is not Todd. We all know what happened to Todd.
So they have until 9 a.m. the following morning to fill out the appropriate paperwork and correct all of the deficiencies. So they stay up all night and they have a discussion as they're kind of, because is it Ben and not Ben, Charlie that's like, we'll finish this in the morning. No, Phil's like, we'll finish this in the morning.
Yeah, Phil is lazy as fuck about this shit. He's not taking it seriously.
Oh, he's a pessimist. He's like, this is gonna not work anyways. Why are we trying?
Exactly.
He's just falling asleep on the couch. He doesn't care.
He did.
But Phil does call Charlie out and he's like, Ben doesn't even like fucking rocket ship. Like, we're not good parents. Why did we think we could run a daycare and watch others' children?
Was this the scene that had my favorite line in the whole movie, which was when he's like, no, my son loves me. And then as he's saying that, the kid runs into a wall and he goes, whoa, don't just be running into things like that. He's the one who led him into the wall.
I think that was when he was trying to convince Kim that he could do it. That scene was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was my favorite line. I love that.
So it's the next morning. Unfortunately, they had left the paperwork on the kitchen table and now the children have it. They're cutting it up, wadding it up.
Crazy scissors and making it into little people. Yeah.
Those kids had skills, like you know.
They got to work fast. Yeah, they're like, they should work for NASCAR. They were like, boom, 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 got it. Destroyed.
I know this is a safe space.
Yeah.
Your girl can't cut in a straight line. It's real bad. Okay. Jackie, for like 90% of my adult life, Jackie has wrapped my Christmas presents because I can't do it. And when Jackie's not here, my sister does it.
Danielle, I'm very glad you have opened up this safe space for us because I also cannot cut in a straight line. You are not alone.
Thank you, because when I saw these kids, like, so if I can't do a straight line, I can't even tell you what a circle looks like. It's real bad. Even when I trace it or there's like a guide, it's real bad.
I'll show you what a circle looks like. I got you. Just 1 second.
Let's watch.
Where did you get those scissors?
I had them on my desk. I'm ready to go. Straight line, I don't think I could do, but this circle's gonna be flawless.
I'm like in awe watching you cut the circle live.
Hang on, I can do this too, actually.
Are those medical scissors?
I don't know what these are, and also this is a lost Powerball ticket. This felt like it's like the most appropriate thing to cut up.
I have scissors.
Oh
handy.
wait, I can
hang
have
on a
scissors
sec. Let's
too.
just cut up some shit.
I forget how the screen works, but yeah, I think I got a pretty solid circle here.
If you hold it close to yourself, that's when it like shows
it's pretty decent. That's a solid circle.
It is a solid circle. Here, let me.
Thank you.
I have
the straight line, boom, 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 perfect.
Hang on, because I just did a good job myself.
See, this is the kind of summer camp I wanted. Was this? I didn't want to do science. I wanted to just cut shit out and show people.
I used a cup to help.
Fucking cheater. Yeah, your circle's better than mine.
Yeah, because I used a cup.
This is my circles.
You did good, actually.
used a cup and a screwdriver. Like,
I didn't trace anything. It was freehand.
This is my circle.
Of course, yours is perfect.
Don't worry, Danielle. We know.
I think at least one of us could get paid for this.
100%.
Yeah, we all know it's Jackie.
Yeah.
I missed my calling.
You're like, oh, you're not good at cutting circles. I see what you're doing here. You're just trying to pitch yourself. Get a job.
Yeah, years of being on a podcast has led up to this moment.
Rabbit hole 223 check.
But the CPS guy wants to make it work. He's
very understanding and kind to them.
He is. It's not the typical, like, I'm coming after you. I'm going to find the thing that you're doing wrong and shut this operation down. It's very much the opposite. So he takes the paperwork, even though there's like pieces cut up and there's an elbow that he has to initial and stuff. It's fine. He's got it.
No stakes in this scenario.
No.
They created those stakes, and then they were like, you gotta solve these 600 infractions by tomorrow morning. And then 2 scenes later, they're like, here's a mess of infractions. And he's just like, okay, then
just sign here.
A couple, like, what, an hour and a half into being open, even though they said you can't open unless you do these things. You're like, yeah. But we'll just run it for a little bit in a dangerous way. We'll still...
We got to get back to some poop jokes.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
And then we have Marvin shows up, played by Steve Zahn, the one that smells the mail. Mm-hmm. He is in an original series Star Trek uniform. It is the gold one. He shows up to give them final paychecks. And a kid comes waltzing up, and like, he's been talking gibberish, presumed gibberish the whole movie. No one can understand him except for Marvin, because he is also fluent in Klingon. And so he and the kid converse. The kid's like, okay, live long and prosper, and like wanders away. And they need Marvin to just keep an eye on the kids out back for a few minutes while they deal with the CPS man. And so Marvin's like, that's not really my bag, but okay, I'll help you out, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so the CPS guy does say, you now have 11 children and it's a 5-to-1 ratio. So you need another provider. And they're like, we do. Marvin out back. And he's literally out back, like playing with the kids, making faces, like living his best Marvin life.
I can tell you that does not work with children. I have tried that where just like booga 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 booga, and they're like, okay, I have Nintendo. Like I don't have time for you.
It only like it might work 1 or 2 laughs, maybe, and then after that, it's like, what else you got in your bag? We
don't know what he earned already. Jim, you and I have done this with adults and paid people to make us do this kind of nonsense. We're improvisers. So I believe that there was some stuff we didn't see that where he built the trust for all of that.
Yes. There were some trust exercises prior to the faces.
Oh, he also sucks his thumb. Yeah, it was a unifying moment, and then they worked through it.
I know we had said earlier that Steve Zahn has legs, but his bits do not have legs.
You said we. I love that you stood behind me on that. Thanks, Jim.
We're a podcast together. That's how we are of one mind.
So there is a note that there is a beehive that needs to be taken care of. Mm-hmm.
I was like, Beyonce was in this movie. That got really
Danielle.
excited.
Big fan of Lemonade, these children.
Yep. Like, was this an extended cut? I missed it. Sorry, continue. I did have to look away during the scene because of my whatever that thing is with the holes. You know.
Oh yeah.
I need trigger warnings with that stuff. Oh.
Yeah. That's not yet. It's just. It was noted in the CPS workers' notes at this time. And then they're like, where did the complaint come from? And the CPS worker again did the like, no, okay, it was the old bag at the prestigious preschool.
Sorry, I can't tell you. It's against the law. Okay, just kidding. It's Anjelica Huston.
Yeah.
So that works. Ask twice.
So now, and then we get a scene where they sit the children down and they do a focus group. And they're like,
I love
what
that,
do
yeah.
you want out of this daddy daycare? And they get some suggestions. And Ben's like, I just like to draw, Dad. And he's
Yeah, that
like,
was so
okay,
sweet.
cool.
Although there
More
is a
drawing.
pause from his dad where it seems like he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Your suggestion's good too. What, son? Like it felt like he didn't like that suggestion.
It was too simple.
Yeah.
But it's also the easiest things are like the things that kids enjoy the most. Like give them Play-Doh and they're happy for hours.
Oh, I should say I'm on the child side. More
Yeah.
drawing for the children, please. It's just weird that Eddie Murphy was like, geez, son. If only you were as good as the rest of these kids.
I mean, I feel like he just has to play super dumb because the whole point is to really just push that, like, hey, maybe you should, like, the thing is, like, Steve Zahn's character is like, hey, let me teach other men that they should give a shit about investing into getting to know their children and not assuming they know things about it. Good thing to teach to like put out there and to suggest, and it is a little bit just trying to showing that a little bit. And I don't assume you know. And also that kid's face when he was just like, it's cool to tell you what I like. You're like, yeah, dude, go in. What other weirds, like, not weird stuff, what are you into? Like, you could, like, you like bugs? Bugs are great.
Let's
eat
daddy
daycare.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 4 adults that just cut circles out on the podcast.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So
that's totally normal.
Maybe I'm ready to run a daddy daycare after all.
Don't eat the circle, Jim.
No. I think they ate a winning lottery ticket. Fuck.
No.
This is when we get a montage of them like incorporating the suggestions of the activities, and the beehive has to come down, and so more falling for Kai.
I think it's a wasp
classic entertainment.
nest.
Yeah, them hurting themselves. Great.
Yeah.
I don't like when people hurt themselves with bees. We talked about micro earlier. It's a touchy thing for me. I also got stung by like a bunch of bees at my dad's job, but when I was like 12, so I'm never a fan of bees. So out. Same thing. I don't even like Jerry Seinfeld because I hate bees so much.
This is when we get the lightsaber fights. Max finally is potty trained, so we all celebrate that.
Yay! Get it, Max.
And then this is when Charlie's going through the schedule, the thumb sucking support group, Tai Chi out on the lawn, all of the things. There is a pet day, and so everyone brings their pets to
that bunny was
daycare.
fucking huge.
It was tiny, I think their name was.
I just realized at this point in the movie, I stopped looking at the screen for a while. Because everything you're saying does make sense to me. I don't remember it at all.
Don't worry, that happens to me every week.
Yeah,
I saw the beehive, the wasp nest or whatever, and I was like, okay, they're gonna do a montage for the next like 5 minutes. I can
yeah, stuff. Pretty much.
Yep. So what else? And so we see another scene at the prestigious daycare. They've lost 3 more students. So she asks for the daycare regulations because apparently they just have that on hand.
And that's accurate. You're supposed to have like a binder with all the regulations on hand just in case.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know enough about this to dispute this, so
I'll allow it, Jim. Yeah.
And so she finds another issue where they're now over the child limit.
Ratios are a big thing. Sorry.
Yes. So you can only have a max of 12 kids at an in-home daycare. After that, you have to have a dedicated commercial space to run a daycare. And they have 14 kids. And so they're literally like, we got to cut loose 2 kids. But then it's like Sophie's Choice trying to decide which ones get the boot.
Except that, what's the other dad's name?
Bill.
He's like, yeah, he's ready to cut the 2 girls that put the makeup on his face.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no problem. He's not at the stage that Charlie's at. He took a hard like jump to just, yeah, give a shit about kids now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird, like him, I got why he had 2 kids right off the bat. weird that the rest of them also were like, oh, we could also get rid of these other kids. Like, why do you not like those kids? Like, I don't know why he doesn't like kids because I just saw the last scene.
Right.
And so they do scope out a commercial space. It is a defunct nerd den called the Final Frontier.
Like was it a comic book store or something? I think Nerd Den is the perfect description for it.
Yeah.
Considering everything Steve Zahn was saying was just like, oh man, they had all these things. I was like, was he selling them?
Right.
Because it doesn't sound like he was. Maybe this is why they went out of business.
Yeah, it just sounded like a cool spot.
Yeah. And so, but they need money to open a commercial location. And so they have like this whole festival in the backyard. There's bounce houses, there's petting zoos, there's food.
It's like a Billy Madison field day. It got wild. It was just like, I was like, where did this come from?
How did that not cost as much as the place?
Right.
Yeah, right?
They had the actual band Cheap Trick there.
Yeah, don't worry. They probably did a pro bono. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But Anjelica Huston is like, I can't compete with fun. We need to go sabotage some shit.
I'm glad she
Gretchen. Like, let's go. She like unplugs the bounce house, lets the goats out of the petting zoo. She puts glue in the face paint, which Marvin kind of overreacted, gluing a paintbrush to his face.
Oh, full lost it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did not. Yeah. With children, you have to keep a straight face.
They're like, hey, we haven't had you yell
together.
Yet. You're all the dads have to yell. You're not a dad, but just yell. And they're like, all right, we'll have you yell in this scene. Cool.
Yeah.
Lose your mind over something. Yeah.
Yeah, that little girl was right on the same page as him.
Yeah. They put the biggest Madagascar hissing cockroaches in that food that I have ever seen.
So much. Yeah. Yeah, it's like zoomed in, like we were watching. What's that thing where I don't want Joe Rogan. Let me give attention to Joe Rogan's old show, Fear Factor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you guys are really. This is like extra. This is a lot.
Yeah. So right around this time, Charlie actually gets a job offer. And so he has a proposal sitting on the kitchen counter, and Anjelica Huston comes over the next day to talk to him. And she sees the job offer and is like, hey, essentially, I'll give you a discounted rate for all these kids to come back to my school. And so that kind of convinces now the kids have someplace to go, and Ben's included in that discount rate. So he accepts the job offer, and Phil is also going. It's a package deal, I guess.
Sure.
And Marvin is very upset because he finally found where he belongs, which is working with the children. Someone that can, the kids are on his level.
Right.
And he got a girlfriend out of it too.
He did. He starts dating one of the moms. She's into him, so.
I would like to see his trajectory. Like, I want to see his resume. Like, he's like, yeah, I used to work at like a Pier 1 for a while, and then I got like all the way to where he was, and I just didn't see daycare, but here I am.
Yep.
I like the detail where the mom that he's into cuts up her shirt to show that she's sexy.
Yeah.
So they have to tell all of the kids that Daddy Daycare is now defunct. And Charlie starts reminiscing about his time with the children. And Ben is also sad because he's gotten used to Dad being around, and now Dad's going to go back to being MIA, which is a big bummer.
And they break it down. They're just like, yeah, I'll just see you on nights and weekends, and that's it. Does that work for you? Is that cool? I'll just see you around.
Goodbye, my child.
Yes.
Yeah, it's real.
And so the first pitch that Charlie has in his new position is for like a cotton candy cereal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, this isn't good for kids. It's not healthy. They're going to have a sugar crash, blah, blah,
got
blah.
Red 4. I think it had Red 4 or something.
Yes, red dye number 4 in it.
That's a bad one.
He's fucking up his money already.
Mm-hmm.
Red dye number 4 is a really nasty allergy, to be honest.
Yes.
I've known some people that have it. That's a hospitalized kind of allergy. Sorry, go ahead.
You're fine.
No, that's
I just
helpful.
wanted to
Listeners,
mention-
write that down. Write that down.
I have a lot of knowledge on allergies. If you have any questions, I can let you know.
So as Charlie is kind of flipping through his portfolio, he sees the drawing Ben did of him and Daddy.
Oh, that's so
And
cute.
so he proclaims his core value is his child, and he needs to go back to the children. And they show up, and Marvin is having an estate sale. He's just selling all his worldly possessions.
Yeah.
A little bit dramatic.
Oh, it's extreme. Yeah. It's like that horrible Will Ferrell movie that I wish I could get my life back for. Everything must go. And it's all of a sudden is just like hard reality of just like, yeah, they fucked over this guy's life. Yeah. They just left him to sell all of his favorite things.
You mean the Will Ferrell movie that I liked?
I think I was just depressed at the time when I watched it, so honestly, I don't remember. I don't need to watch Will Ferrell be depressed when I'm depressed.
Facts. I thought he was. I think I liked that movie. I can't remember.
I'll have to rewatch it. You know, honestly, when you eat a whole pizza while you watch it, I think you're just really not about it.
You also got to keep in mind that's my kind of movie. Just like a guy sadly sitting on a lawn and someone being like, "Is this for sale?" And he's like, "Yep." That's it for me.
So they tell Marvin, you don't have to sell your things. Don't sell the carrot costume. We're back in business.
And then
That's the priority.
And then he stands up and declares, nothing's for sale.
Get out.
Then the ending is we see, I guess, Anjelica Huston had to close her daycare because everyone has gone over to Daddy Daycare. So she is now a crossing guard. Gretchen Wiener now works for Daddy Daycare. She's taken the kids to school. And then we just see an end scene where everyone is super happy and it's chaotic, but the kids are happy. And apparently Steve Zahn, as he was carrying those boxes of snacks and fell, fractured his wrist.
Oh, no way.
So he had to finish the movie with a cast and they had to edit it out.
I was going to say that looked really dangerous the way that he was trying to get over that. And it looked like he was improvising too hard that day.
I had that exact thought. I was like, oh, Steve, you're doing too much.
Yeah, I felt the discomfort of that. So good acting. Sorry you hurt yourself.
They had to edit out his hand the same way they had to edit out Scotty from Star Trek's hand. Fun little fact about Star Trek: one of the actors is missing a finger, so they never showed that hand of his because I guess they are too embarrassed of a man with 9 fingers.
Yeah, you hear that, Donnie Nine Pins? If you listen to this, sorry, a friend of mine, get out of here.
Yeah, anyone who's got less than 10 fingers, I don't want to see them.
James Doohan.
Yeah. He lost his finger in the war. Like, come on.
Can't we please more heroic. Honor him with the fact that now I have to Google James Doohan.
Not that like missing fingers, like you need to have a good reason to be missing your fingers, but
Jim,
like,
where did you get that clipboard and that vest from? Why is so many names on it? I love that you're just starting a cause right now.
Oh, it was the middle finger. That's the good one.
That's a rough one to lose.
Yeah.
There's like one shot of him with his blaster where you can see it. That's about it.
That is Daddy Daycare.
Oh my God.
If you want to hear more hijinks and check out Kai and Jim's podcast, Rotten Treasure, make sure to check out their social handles. Why don't you guys tell them how they can find you?
Absolutely. Jim, you were listening last time I said it. How do we do it? Rotten_treasure. So you can go for Instagram. I'm pretty sure you can just type in Rotten Treasure into Twitter, and we didn't need the underscore for that one. I have messaged Rotten Treasure, no underscore needed. They will refuse to get back to me. And when I say refuse, I mean I messaged them once, and I'm just like literally waiting their response.
They might not even use the account. Like, when was the last time they don't. Yeah.
No. but over almost 2.5 years in, I'm just bitter. So, yeah.
Shockingly, when we decided the name of our podcast, we were so surprised that we were able to collect all of our rings.
Yeah, that's awesome. Stones. When you don't need a number afterwards, and you're just like, that's ours.
Usually when that happens, it's like you did this in like 2004.
Right. So check out No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Let us know if you have any thoughts. And Kai, I'm going to start with you with your present day ratings of Daddy Daycare.
I think I'm going to give it a same day. I'm good. Oh wait, is that too harsh? I don't need to go full trash. I love that I went the full, but no, it's not full trash. No, yeah. At this point, we don't need it. Like, if this movie came out right now, I'm like, I'm good.
If this movie came out, I would be wicked offended. Luckily,
so right now where I'm at, I'm good.
Luckily, it came out 20 years ago, and so I have that feeling of it where, like, I give it the extra day, whatever it is, 2-day rental.
2 day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll give it that. It was a little bit better in my mind this time around.
Jackie,
I had a similar thought, Jim, because I was just like, this movie's fine. Like, for kids or families, it's fine. There's nothing like overtly wrong with it. Am I gonna watch it? No. But I'll do a 2-day rental because it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
was it I'm sorry, go ahead.
It has the premise that the like Mr. Mom premise of dads don't take care of children. What a novel concept this is.
Exactly.
Mr. Mom, no, you know what it is? It's multiplicity. That's
Kai's favorite movie.
Get me into that movie. I don't know why that's not on my shelf. That is, put multiplicity up 3 times. Strike everything up.
That movie is like
4 times, but make a copy of the second one and then put that one next to it.
Yeah,
a copy
and
of
it'll
a
be
copy's
like
not as great as the original.
Oh my god, you sell that with like a razor attached to it.
Michael Keaton, badass.
Oh, the best. I love that movie. We're gonna eat a dolphin. Nobody, we're gonna pet one. Eugene Levy's in that movie. Folks, go watch Multiplicity right now. Sorry.
Not this movie that we just spent how many hours going through.
Watch both, but like double feature that.
Yeah, stop watching Daddy Daycare because I know you're watching it right now as a commentary track. Stop watching it. I know the movie would have just ended, but don't watch the credits. I know there's goofy hijinks going on right now, but that all you're seeing is how tired Eddie Murphy is as a comedian.
My rating's 2-day rental.
Excellent.
Have nothing else to say.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
If you have opinions on Multiplicity, hit us up at the Quick Drop 909-601 and MLF 909-601-6653. Twat us at the Twitters or leave a message on our Spotify for Podcasters account, and you could be featured on a future episode.
And join us next week as we get down with the love.
Yeah, we do.
Are we gonna watch The Love Guru?
No, Down with Love.
Okay.
Or that was a joke, and I didn't get it. But you know what I can do? Real Bad Circles.
Oh!
I thought you were gonna edit our laughter over your joke so that it was super successful.
Oh, I put laugh tracks in our episodes. It's not that
bad. Yeah, that's why whenever Kai says a joke, there's laughs for 5 straight minutes.
Thank y'all for joining us. We had so much fun. It's always a pleasure to hang out with y'all. And so,
ditto. Thank you for the cry laughs. I have a blast hanging out with y'all always.
Yes. And we have several movies now that we have your names down for. And Multiplicity, we have your name down 4 times.
Can we watch Multiplicity 3 times? And I'm not kidding. I will make us each a copy of the movie, send it to you in the mail, and then we will watch the copy of the second one. That's a bonus.
I can't wait to get the last copy where it's super compressed.
Here's the deal, Jim. If we get to 300 episodes, can we do that for episode 300 to 304?
Why wouldn't we do 200?
All right, folks. Sorry. Anyways, you were trying to end your podcast. I apologize.
Anyway, thank you all for joining the Rotten Treasure podcast. Find us.
And as always, Be kind and rewind.
And recording because we are not high. We're just crazy.